Hey everyone, this is Fabio and welcome back. I'm making this quite a rather unexpected video simply because I just read something amazing, I think. And as you all know, quite some times ago now, months now, I think, Sega bought Atlus, obviously. We all know that. And to, I suppose, mixed reactions. Personally, I think it was a good thing, so it was avoided the actual failure of Index and Atlus. So great games like the Shin Megami Tensei series and Radiant Historias and others will not be forgotten and probably still making by the company. The thing that I read is actually the first news that I discovered since the acquisition of the companies by Sega, and it's, I think, a great thing. And it's the fact that Sega actually offered Atlus the possibility to use its dormant IPs. This is mind-blowing, I think. I mean, it's actually thinking about the fact that Atlus can use Sega franchises, Sega series. It's amazing, I think. Just imagine what would happen if suddenly we'll start having games like usual Sega franchises, but made by Atlus. So with that, I think style that it's typical of the Atlus games. Um, just some games that will be amazing to see again. For example, the Skies of Arcadia. What that would be unbelievable, and finally a sequel to one of the greatest, probably the best RPG on the Dreamcast, of one of the best RPG of all time. What about Shining Force, for example? Um, Panzer Dragoon. I mean, it's been since Saga that these games just disappeared, and it would be great to see actually a game in the Panzer Dragoon universe, but with the Atlus style. So with maybe like a creepier story or something typical of the Atlus games. And of course, I have to mention the fact that maybe we'll finally see a new Phantasy Star game. I mean, that's something that I dream every day, basically. But I'm not talking about online games. I'm talking about finally having Phantasy Star 5. I don't really care about Phantasy Star Online. That's just the way I used to play. I'm not really a multiplayer kind of guy, but having a Phantasy Star 5 or a new series of single player classic RPG based on the Phantasy Star franchise, that would be too good to be true. I don't even know how to describe this. And also, another great news about this is not just this, that it's already amazing, but it's the fact that Sega also guaranteed the fact that Atlus will maintain uh, its own IPs, obviously, and the company will not change. So it will be just as before, but obviously um, Atlus will develop the game and Sega will be the distribution. That's probably better for both of them. Both for the reputation of Atlus and Sega will help, I suppose, the sale of the games. And let's hope that this partnership, well, it's not a partnership, it's now this ownership by Sega, will be good for the Atlus games, but I'm really hoping for the other way around, so that Atlus will use some of the, as they call it, dormant IPs, some of the dormant series made by Sega during the years, and use use this possibility to revive them. How cool could this will be? So cool. I mean, again, some of the games that I just mentioned before, but I cannot stop thinking about a new Phantasy Star or new Sky of Arcadia or Panzer Dragoon. That would be one day to remember. That would be so amazing. I'm so happy after reading this because just thinking about the possibilities of playing new games of those series that have been forgotten for so many years. It's just great. So great, so great. And also the fact that Atlus will not be changed by the new owners. Sega will not change anything in like both the game development, game processing. That's also another great news, and I'm very happy that Sega and uh, it's smart enough to understand when it's not necessary to change anything in a, I think, very well-functioned company like Atlus. Even though they were bankrupt, basically they were bought by Sega. I think the format was good, but I don't know, business is something else. I mean, the heart was in the right place, and let's hope that a big name like Sega will help um, surpass any difficulties for Atlus, and vice versa, that Atlus will help restore some great franchises that Sega, for any reason, had forgotten. And they mention especially the case of RPGs in this interview at Famitsu. The fact that the guys at Atlus say that to them, Sega has the reputation of being not very good at making RPGs, even though I have to complain that just thinking about the four Phantasy Star games, some of the best RPG of all time, but it's my opinion. And from a company like Atlus, that it's quite like its specialty is making RPGs, an epic one, just Shin Megami Tensei, all a series of amazing RPGs. And of course, the Persona games, the Devil Survivors, and others, and many, many others. So I'm really, really looking forward to this partnership between Atlus and Sega, hoping that these two names combining their forces will bring great titles and will bring back great titles from the past that will mean so much to me, especially playing a new Phantasy Star, classic style Phantasy Star game, single player, turn-based, sci-fi fantasy RPG. That would be the happiest day of my life, I suppose, playing Phantasy Star 5. This is something that I've been waiting for like at least more than 15 years or something like that. Or a new Panzer Dragoon game, or whatever you want. I mean, there are so many games that Sega had abandoned for different reasons that could be used by Atlus and changed in a way and made them more interesting with their really recognizable and amazing style. So this is everything I have to say. This was quite unexpected. I just read this news right now, and I couldn't like keep it for myself. I have to share my feelings. I'm very, very happy for this, as I told you. So if I see any news about that, I will let you know, of course. But for now, this is all. Thanks for watching. Like always, take care.